Well, hello, everybody. This is Chris Pfluger, your managing director here at IAD Florida, and we are growing again. And so, one of our newest agents joining us today between showings, which I really appreciate you taking the time, is Michelle Sims. Michelle, how are you?
Hey, Chris, I'm fantastic. Thanks for working with the crazy realtor schedule. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Not a problem. As IAD grows, and again, we have a strong focus here on Central Florida right now. But as we go around the state, I want to interview any agent that comes aboard and really has this type of a mentality for joining a growing brand who really has those international connections. So, with that in mind, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you tell us, a little bit about yourself, and we want to share, your experience with IAD and what you're looking to do with your career in real estate. So you came from some boutique brands, but you had some experience with some larger brands. So tell us a little bit about where you were before and what attracted you to IAD.
Yeah, so I've always liked the people aspect of the business. So the smaller teams, the boutique brokerages, if you will, that was the most appealing to me. I wanted to make sure I was going to be people facing. So if I had a question, I had someone that I could deal with. But it's usually a little bit harder growth wise on these smaller boutique teams. I think you get to the point where you feel like, okay, I've learned everything I'm going to learn here. What's next? So I did dip my toes in the water with LPT Realty. That's very corporate, I know, so opposite of what I'm saying. And I had a great experience with some of the people I worked with. But again, with that corporate environment, it was, oh, you need a question that someone on your team can't do, something graphic, something technical, pull a ticket. Pull a ticket. And I thought, oh, this is why I left corporate America. This is why I got out of my corporate job. I don't want to be or feel like a number. So I said, I need to find something again that's in between that, there's potential for growth, but there's still that small, hey, I know my team, I know my people, I have someone I can always call. And that's where IED fit all that criteria.
Well, so that's exactly what we're going for. So I appreciate you mentioned that. So we're looking to have that, very much, individual feel because you're assigned to your agent support manager. You have your mentor to talk to on an ongoing basis. Of course, you can talk to me. You can talk to anybody on the team directly. And that's the point of how we do it. But we're backed up by $1 billion company. And that's the one thing with a 15-year history. And a huge growth track record. And so you get the best of both worlds at IAD. And I'm sincerely glad you mentioned that because that's what our intent was the entire time, was to be able to provide you with that kind of family cultural feel. And that's something that you don't get everywhere else. And that's I appreciate you mentioning it for sure.
Yeah, very true.
So you on your area that you work in, so you work pretty much, you're in the downtown area of Orlando, but you pretty much cover a pretty good size Central Florida chunk. So if you had a client or someone who was looking to work with you on your team, what areas would you say that you like to focus on?
Well, I live in downtown Orlando, so it's always easier to work where you live. But I was in news before I was in real estate, and so my news team was Central Florida. So I cover Lake County, Polk County, Volusia County. I truly cover all of Central Florida right now. If you look at my transactions, I've got something in Eustis. I'm about to sell a house in Celebration. I have a couple downtown, Altamont Springs. So I travel a lot. I think that actually being in the homes, seeing what's going on in those different neighborhoods, what new construction has to offer, physically doing and being there every day helps me be able to help a client in any of those counties.
Fantastic. Well, one thing I did want to ask you, we hadn't talked about before, and I've seen you attend some of our trainings, right? So
Yes.
we have quite a few trainings going on at our new global training center here in Central Florida. What do you think of the training schedule? Obviously, it's a little bit different because we do them both live and online, but what did you think of the training?
Yeah, I love it. I love that we have a brick and mortar spot where everyone can gather and everyone's welcome to bring, we've got someone coming to teach about home inspections this week. We've got the FERPTA classes. So it's a great variety. And I think the best part is that the team is super open to whatever the need is. So if we have a need for, a class on new rules and regulations with NAR, that's there. Everything that you need, they make sure to adapt and overcome. So no one's left with questions.
Well, I will tell you that is one of our sincere focuses, not only the community aspect of it, but really the training, coming with a global brand who has access to pretty much anything in the world. We have very specific rules here in the United States, and with all the things going on, it's incredibly important that we be up to date. So we're bringing in the experts to make sure you and all of our colleagues have the opportunity to be experts at real estate, as well as be able the opportunity to grow a team and develop out multiple revenue streams. So this is a great chance to meet you, and I appreciate it. Welcome to the team, of course. If anyone wants to get a hold of Michelle, you can see right across the bottom both email and a phone number, whether you want to work with her as a client to find out more about the parks in the area, the properties in the area. You certainly are doing that. I jokingly mentioned that because Michelle's working on putting together a YouTube channel and some opportunities about that. If you want to share a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, Chris is touching on something. I'm just starting here. I do have a production background, so it's coming. I noticed that there's not a lot of people talking about our local parks, the stuff that our cities and our counties support, where we're taking our kids. And for me, I have little ones, and I get bored going to the same neighborhood park over and over again. So I want to show you all the things that our county, our cities have to offer, because there's tons. There's over 100. So yeah, that's coming.
Well, I didn't want to expose it too early, but I will tell you it's an exciting opportunity because people are always looking for, especially parents are looking for safe and different places to go, as you mentioned. And again, I like to call it parks and properties, but I do want you to call it whatever you like. And I'm excited about the opportunity, maybe even to show up at one of the parks and participate in that. So anytime you need me, you let me know.
I'm going to hold you to that, Chris.
I knew you would. I knew you would. Well, thank you for joining us today. And I have to tell you, we're very excited to have you part of the team. We're going to check back in with you down the road to see how much more you've expanded, and you've got quite a bit going on right now, but maybe a little bit more time on the YouTube channel, and we'll get everything out there for you. So Great. Welcome to the team.
Thank you so much.